In this video, we will learn about the applications of electrolysis, and the discovery of electrolysis was done by a scientist named John Wilhelm Richter. The application of electrolysis is electroplating. Now, electroplating is actually a process using which we can deposit a layer of any desired metal on a base metal by means of electrolysis, or we can say by means of electricity, and this whole process is known as electroplating. It is also one of the most significant applications of chemical effects of electric current. In this image, you can see some of the examples on which electroplating is used. You can see a wristwatch, and electroplating is done on wristwatch. You can see taps. Why electroplating is done on taps? To give it a good finish and a good appearance, and to protect it from any kind of corrosion. It is used in sink. It is also used in belt buckles. Some other examples are also there, like jewelry. We use it in fancy lights also. Let's understand it better with the help of an activity. Now, the aim of this activity is to understand electroplating, and we will use iron nail, and then we will electroplate iron nail with copper metal. The basic material that is required for this activity is you need four dry cells to make a battery. A thick copper wire is required. You need a connecting wire, a beaker, an iron nail, vinegar, a piece of sandpaper, etc. Now, the procedure we will understand with the help of this whole setup. For the procedure that you have to follow, first you will take a thick copper wire and you will convert it into a coil. In this image also you can see that copper wire is converted into a coil. Then you will take this beaker and you will fill the beaker. Around half of the beaker will be filled using a weak acid. In this case we have used a vinegar. The next step you have to follow is dip the copper wire in this beaker, and then you have to leave it for about 8 to 10 hours. Now, the reason behind leaving it for such a long period is to dissolve some copper from the coil into this vinegar, and then we will use it as the electrolyte for this setup. Now, you can see that in the next step we have iron nail, and iron nail is connected to the negative terminal. That is, we are using iron nail as cathode, and this copper wire is connected to the positive terminal. Therefore, we can say that copper wire is used as anode in this case. Now, you have to scratch the free ends of all connecting wire with a piece of sandpaper, and then connect iron nail and copper coil both to the battery of the dry cell, and make sure you connect iron nail to the negative terminal and copper coil to the positive terminal. And then you have to leave this setup for about 30 to 40 minutes. At the end, you will see that on this iron nail, copper will be deposited. This is due to the electroplating. Now, the reason behind this deposition is you will have free copper in this solution, because initially we left this whole setup for about 8 to 10 hours and we created an electrolyte. You will have free copper in this solution. Now, this copper being positively charged will be attracted towards the negative terminal, that is the iron nail in this case, as a result of which you will see that copper has been deposited on the iron nail. But to replenish the copper ions in this solution, this copper coil is used. Now, let's understand it better. When the electric current from battery passes through the electrolytic solution, the free copper, that is the positively charged present in the solution, is attracted towards the negative charge, that is the iron nail. And at the cathode, the free copper loses its positive charge and it ultimately gets deposited on the iron nail. On the other hand, some copper from the anode, that is the copper coil, will dissolve in the electrolyte to maintain or to replace the amount of copper which has got deposited on the iron nail. This whole process continues and the iron nail can become thicker. Now, the thickness of copper that is deposited on the iron nail will depend on two factors. Number one is the time that is actually for which the electrodes are dipped in the electrolyte. If it will increase, the thickness of copper that is deposited on the iron nail will also increase. And the second factor is the strength of battery, because if you will increase the strength of battery, then also the thickness of the copper deposited on the iron nail will increase, because the amount of current that is actually passing through the electrolytic solution increases. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.